Hello and welcome back. Today we're taking the next step in our series on rethinking sport. Last time we showed how football, soccer, can be adapted so men and women can play together. Today we're turning to American football.
And this is where it gets interesting, because if there's one sport people assume can't be mixed, it's American football. It's seen as too physical, too aggressive, too male.
Exactly. But that assumption is precisely what we're challenging, because the world is changing fast. With artificial intelligence transforming industries like law and medicine, many traditional jobs are under threat. Meanwhile, sectors built on human interaction, like sport, are becoming more important than ever.
But here's the catch. Sport can't grow unless it becomes more inclusive. Right now, it's still built on exclusion, especially gender exclusion. And that's not just a moral issue, it's a commercial one.
Let's put this in context. The upcoming FIFA World Cup 2026 is supposed to be a global celebration. But it's already under a cloud, been political tension in the United States, accusations of corruption, and increasing criticism of the sport's governance.
And there's something else. The rhetoric coming out of parts of the US political system right now is being widely described as anti-feminist. That creates a real risk. The World Cup could be seen not as a celebration of unity, but as a symbol of exclusion, especially for women.
Which would be disastrous, not just reputationally, but financially. Because modern audiences, especially younger ones, are going to expect inclusion. If sport doesn't adapt, it risks losing relevance.
And that's where this idea of mixed sport becomes so powerful. It's not just about fairness, it's about survival.
So let's get into it. American football, a sport defined by physical contact. How do you make it mixed without compromising safety?
The answer is surprisingly simple. You introduce a 2-yard wide no-play zone down the centre of the field. Men play on one side, women on the other.
The ball moves between the two sides, just as it does now between players. But crucially, there's no physical contact between men and women.
Exactly. Each team becomes a coordinated unit across two halves of the pitch. Strategy becomes more important. Communication becomes essential.
And every quarter, the teams switch sides, so there's balance, no advantage.
You'd also enforce penalties for entering the no-play zone. Keep it clean, keep it structured.
And from there, you can evolve the rules further. For example, you could require forward passes to go between men and women. That would make the game more dynamic and more collaborative.
Or introduce weight categories to reduce injury risk. Because let's be honest, concerns about long-term brain injury are already a major issue in American football.
So what we're really talking about is not weakening the game, but redesigning it, making it smarter, safer, and more inclusive.
And let's address the obvious objection. It won't be as exciting.
That's a stereotype. In reality, mixed sport could be more engaging. You're adding layers of strategy, unpredictability, and teamwork.
And crucially, you double your talent pool overnight. That's huge.
Now let's talk about the global implications. Because this isn't just about the United States.
No, if a major sport like American football embraces mixed competition, it sends a powerful signal worldwide, especially in countries where women still face barriers to participation.
It changes expectations. Young girls grow up seeing themselves not as outsiders, but as equal participants. That's transformative.
And we're already seeing movement in this direction. In the UK, there's growing pressure to end gender segregation in school sports. That means the next generation will expect mixed competition as the norm.
So by the time we get to the 2028 Summer Olympics, also in the United States, the pressure for inclusion could be impossible to ignore.
Which brings us back to the commercial opportunity, because this is where things get really compelling.
Mixed-gender American football could redefine the market. More players, more fans, more families watching together.
And sponsors love inclusivity. Brands want to be associated with progress, not exclusion.
It also opens up entirely new broadcasting narratives, mixed teams, new tactics, new stars. That's fresh content in a saturated market.
And let's not forget participation. Grassroots sport would explode. Schools, universities, community leagues, all able to run inclusive competitions.
Which feeds back into the professional game. More players, more pathways, more revenue.
But there's a strategic warning here for the United States. American football has always been somewhat isolated globally.
If it doesn't evolve, it risks becoming even more insular, stuck in outdated ideas while the rest of the world moves on.
Whereas if it leads this change, it could suddenly become a truly global sport.
And that's the bigger picture. This isn't just about modifying rules, it's about shifting mindsets.
Moving away from 19th century assumptions about gender and capability and towards a 21st century model of inclusion.
Because ultimately, sport reflects society. If sport excludes, it reinforces exclusion everywhere.
But if sport includes, truly includes, it can help drive wider social change.
So here's the takeaway. The barriers to mixed American football aren't physical, they're psychological.
And once you see how simple the solution is, it becomes very hard to justify keeping things as they are.
The question isn't whether sport can change, it's whether it will change fast enough.
Because the world already is, Kadisi, and sport can either lead that change or be left behind by it.
That's all from us today. Thanks so much for watching and for thinking it through with us.
We'll see you next time for the next step in rethinking sport. Until then, take care.